No one asked for a Cowboy Bebop live action, and that is where Netflix made its first mistake. Attempting to recreate the magic of the beloved anime, the 2021 adaptation turned into a costly embarrassment. Despite a strong cast led by John Cho, the show was widely criticized for its awkward pacing, poor writing, and unconvincing action sequences. Fans of the original rejected its tonal shifts and changes to key characters, while even Cowboy Bebop creator Shinichiro Watanabe distanced himself from the project, calling it unfaithful to his vision. With disappointing viewership and overwhelmingly negative reception, Netflix pulled the plug less than a month after its release. Directed by Baz Luhrmann, The Get Down was a vibrant portrayal of the birth of hip-hop in 1970s New York City. The show combined music, dance, and drama, capturing the cultural revolution of the era. Despite its artistic ambition, the series was plagued by production delays and budget overruns, reportedly costing around $120 million. The high costs, coupled with modest viewership, led to its cancellation after just one season. The show's demise highlighted Netflix's willingness to cut losses on even its most ambitious projects. Starring Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant, Santa Clarita Diet was a horror comedy about a suburban real estate agent who becomes a flesh-eating zombie. The show was praised for its quirky humor and the chemistry between its leads. Despite a dedicated fanbase, Netflix canceled the series after 3 seasons. Creator Victor Fresco revealed that he learned of the cancellation in a particularly abrupt manner. His assistant informed him that the sets were being dismantled, as no one from Netflix had notified him directly. The show ended on a significant cliffhanger, leaving fans frustrated and highlighting the sometimes impersonal nature of the streaming business. Soundtrack was a musical drama that explored the love stories connecting a diverse group of people in Los Angeles, with music playing a central role in their narratives. The series featured elaborate musical numbers and aimed to intertwine song with storytelling. Despite its innovative approach, the show struggled to find an audience and received mixed reviews from critics. Netflix canceled Soundtrack after 1 season, and it quickly faded from the platform's promotional efforts. The series serves as an example of Netflix's experimental ventures that, despite creative ambition, failed to make a lasting impact. Starring Naomi Watts as a therapist who becomes dangerously involved in her patients' lives, Gypsy had all the makings of a gripping psychological drama. Despite the star power and intriguing premise, the show was met with lukewarm reviews, with critics citing a slow pace and lack of depth. Netflix canceled the series after just 1 season, making it one of the platform's more notable misfires. The show's disappearance from Netflix's promotional materials suggests a desire to move on swiftly from the underwhelming experiment. A documentary series meant to shed light on people living with mysterious chronic illnesses, Afflicted was supposed to be an eye-opening exploration of misunderstood medical conditions. Instead, it was widely condemned for its misleading portrayal of its subjects, who accused Netflix of sensationalizing their struggles. Medical experts also criticized the series for fueling skepticism around real illnesses, making Netflix's association with it a PR headache. The backlash was so intense that Netflix quietly let it fade into obscurity, never promoting it again. Much like The Last Hangover, The Temptation of Christ provoked outrage for its irreverent take on biblical themes. Depicting Jesus grappling with earthly temptations, the film faced immediate criticism from religious groups. Given the controversy, Netflix seemed to distance itself from the project, making it difficult to find on the platform. Unlike other controversial films that the company has defended, this one was quietly left to fade into oblivion. Marco Polo was Netflix's grand attempt at a historical epic, chronicling the famed explorer's adventures in the Mongol Empire. With lavish sets, intricate costumes, and expansive battle scenes, the show was a visual spectacle. However, the series failed to capture audiences' imaginations and was critically panned for its lackluster storytelling and underdeveloped characters. Its exorbitant production costs, reportedly around $90 million for the first season, made it an unsustainable venture. After 2 seasons, Netflix pulled the plug, absorbing a significant financial loss and quietly shelving the ambitious project. A teen drama that aimed to be Netflix's answer to Euphoria, Grand Army tackled complex themes of race, class, and identity. Despite receiving some praise for its raw storytelling, the show suffered from behind-the-scenes turmoil, with writers calling out the production for toxic workplace conditions. Netflix quietly dropped the series after just 1 season, leaving fans without closure. Unlike other teen dramas that flourished on the platform, Grand Army disappeared from Netflix's promotional materials, signaling a swift and silent exit. Spinning Out was a drama series that delved into the competitive world of figure skating, focusing on Kat Baker, portrayed by Kaya Scodelario. Despite addressing important topics and featuring compelling performances, Spinning Out struggled to attract a substantial audience. Netflix cancelled the series in February 2020, just a month after its January premiere. While the streaming giant didn't provide an official reason, it's widely speculated that low viewership numbers were a significant factor. Chuck Lorre, the mind behind sitcoms like 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory, attempted to bring his signature humor to the world of cannabis dispensaries with Disjointed. Starring Kathy Bates, the show followed a group of eccentric employees navigating the highs and lows of the marijuana business. However, the series failed to connect with audiences, with critics slamming it for outdated humor and an over-reliance on stoner stereotypes. Netflix cut its losses after one season, and the show quietly disappeared from discussion. Adapted from the critically acclaimed film of the same name, Dear White People aimed to dissect issues of race and privilege in America. It garnered both praise and criticism, with some celebrating its sharp social commentary while others labeled it divisive. Though it lasted for multiple seasons, the show's final installment, a musical season, was met with backlash and disappointing viewership. By the end, Netflix seemed eager to move on, with little fanfare surrounding its conclusion. October Faction followed Monster Hunters Fred and Delores Allen as they navigated their secretive careers while raising teenage twins in a seemingly quiet town. Based on the comics by Steve Niles and Damian Worm, the series aimed to blend family drama with supernatural elements. However, the show failed to resonate with audiences and critics alike, leading to its cancellation after one season. The decision came shortly after the renewal of another IDW adaptation, Lock and Key, suggesting that Netflix opted to prioritize projects with stronger reception and viewership. Netflix has had success with food-related content, but Cooking on High was an experiment that didn't quite work. Billed as the first cannabis cooking competition show, it featured chefs preparing marijuana-infused dishes for a panel of judges. Lacking the polish and charm of other food competitions, the show was panned for its low production value and uninspired format. It vanished from Netflix's lineup without much explanation, likely relegated to the company's list of misfires. Sense8, the ambitious sci-fi series from the Wachowskis, was celebrated for its diverse cast and global storytelling. The show delved into themes of identity, connection, and empathy, resonating deeply with a dedicated fanbase. However, the series was also one of Netflix's most expensive endeavors, with production spanning multiple countries. Despite its passionate following, the viewership numbers didn't justify the high costs, leading to its cancellation after 2 seasons. The decision sparked an outcry, prompting Netflix to release a feature-length special to provide closure, but the series remains a reminder of the platform's sometimes cold calculus. One of Netflix's early forays into original programming, Hemlock Grove was a horror series that blended supernatural elements with small-town intrigue. Despite a promising start and a cast that included Famke Janssen and Bill Skarsgård, the show struggled with inconsistent storytelling and uneven pacing. Over 3 seasons, it garnered a cult following but never achieved mainstream success. Netflix concluded the series without much fanfare, and it has since faded into obscurity, overshadowed by the platform's more successful ventures. A sharp, politically charged talk show, Patriot Act earned praise for its fearless take on global issues. Hasan Minhaj tackled everything from corruption to censorship, often pushing boundaries in ways that made certain governments uncomfortable. Netflix notably removed an episode critical of Saudi Arabia, leading to accusations that the platform was compromising its commitment to free speech. Despite its popularity, the show was ultimately cancelled, with many suspecting its controversial topics played a role in its demise. Originally a cult favorite on network television, Arrested Development found a second life on Netflix, which revived the series for 2 additional seasons. Despite the initial excitement, these new installments received mixed reviews, with critics pointing to a decline in the show's once razor-sharp wit and cohesion. Complicating matters, a controversial interview with the cast surfaced, revealing tensions and allegations of on-set misconduct. This cast a shadow over the show's legacy, leading Netflix to distance itself from the series and quietly move it out of the spotlight. Few cancellations sparked as much outrage as the OA, a mind-bending sci-fi drama that developed a fiercely loyal fanbase. Created by Brit Marling and Zalbot Mandlage, the show wove together elements of mystery, alternate dimensions, and interpretive dance. Despite critical acclaim and a dedicated community of fans, Netflix pulled the plug after 2 seasons, leaving the story unfinished. The decision was met with protests and petitions, but the streaming giant never wavered, making the OA one of its most infamous cancellations. A parody of The Hangover with a biblical twist, this Brazilian comedy special followed Jesus' disciples as they tried to piece together the events of a wild night of drinking. While it gained attention for its absurd premise, it also sparked significant religious controversy. Faced with backlash from Christian groups, Netflix didn't exactly go out of its way to promote the project further. Though not officially removed, it faded into obscurity, with the platform steering clear of similar religious parodies in the future. Originally a cult British comedy series, The Mighty Boosh found a home on Netflix, until it didn't. Featuring surreal humor, bizarre characters, and musical interludes, the show was beloved by a niche audience. However, its use of controversial depictions led to its quiet removal from the platform, with Netflix seemingly unwilling to defend its place in the streaming lineup. Despite being widely recognized for its creativity, the series was caught in the crossfire of discussions about outdated portrayals in media. Netflix chose to part ways with it, distancing itself from any potential backlash. The show's removal sparked debate over where to draw the line between artistic expression and changing social norms. Chambers was a supernatural horror series that starred Uma Thurman and Tony Goldwyn. It centered on a young woman who, after receiving a heart transplant, begins to experience disturbing visions and uncovers sinister secrets about her donor. Despite its intriguing premise and notable cast, the show received mixed reviews, with critics pointing to its slow pacing and lack of coherence. Netflix cancelled it after 1 season, and it quickly faded from public consciousness, becoming another addition to the platform's growing list of one-and-done series. Set in the 1990s, Everything Sucks was a coming-of-age dramedy that followed high school misfits navigating adolescence in a small Oregon town. The show was praised for its nostalgic charm and authentic portrayal of teenage life. Despite positive reviews, Netflix canceled the series after 1 season, citing low viewership. Fans lamented the loss of a show that offered a heartfelt and humorous look at teenage angst, but Netflix moved on, leaving Everything Sucks as a brief, albeit beloved, footnote in its catalog. V-Wars was a sci-fi horror series starring Ian Somerhalder as Dr. Luther Swan, an infectious disease specialist who confronts a rapidly spreading virus transforming humans into vampires. Based on Jonathan Marbury's books, the show aimed to blend medical thriller elements with supernatural horror. Despite the star power and timely premise, V-Wars struggled to captivate a substantial audience. Netflix canceled the series after just 1 season, with reports indicating that viewership numbers did not justify the production costs. The show's departure highlighted the platform's willingness to cut ties with underperforming projects, regardless of their potential. Insatiable was a dark comedy that followed the transformation of a bullied teenager into a beauty queen seeking revenge. The series aimed to satirize societal beauty standards in the pageant world. Upon its release, the show faced significant backlash for its handling of sensitive topics like body image and fat shaming. Critics and audiences alike criticized its tone and messaging, leading to petitions for its cancellation. Despite a 2nd season, the controversy overshadowed the series, and Netflix eventually opted to end it, distancing itself from the negative reception. Messiah was a thriller that centered on a CIA officer's investigation into a mysterious man whose followers believe he is the second coming of Christ. The series delved into themes of faith, politics, and media influence. The show faced controversy for its religious themes and depictions, leading to backlash from various groups. Additionally, international filming complications contributed to Netflix's decision to cancel the series after 1 season. The combination of controversy and logistical challenges made Messiah a project the platform was quick to move on from.